Hey guys, I wasn't planning on doing this video tonight, but since I finally found a sample of this album on a website, I decided to review it. And this is the first time in about a week that I've done an album review. But we still got five albums left that are coming out pretty soon that I will check out. But I was wanting to check this album out that came out about a month ago. And as you see in the top below, this is the review of the brand new album from the prog rock / prog metal supergroup Flying Colors, and this is their album Second Nature. Now, this band Flying Colors pretty much got started right as when, a little bit after, Mike Portnoy broke away from Dream Theater. And Mike Portnoy, he's been in quite a bunch of projects ever since Dream Theater. Adrenaline Mob, which had Russell Allen from Symphony X, and at one point Rich Ward from Stuck Mojo and Fozzy, and John, the bass player from Disturbed. And I thought this could have been good, but I didn't really care for it. They're really just like a great covers band, really. That's really the way it is. And then Mike was in Avenged Sevenfold for the album Nightmare, and his performance on that album was just unbelievable, and that album was great. But now he has, and then also he recently had another project called The Winery Dogs, which is more of a classic rock kind of vibe with Billy Sheehan and Richie Kotzen. But now he has another side project, and this is more going back to Portnoy's roots of music, and that is the none other than Flying Colors. So it's a prog rock / metallic component supergroup, which has Mike and Morse brothers, Steve and Neil, who have been in like Kansas and Deep Purple and a bunch of classic bands, with a couple of lesser known members. But so yeah, with this album Second Nature, with the title of the album being called Second Nature, it's pretty much an album all about how nature is and the beauty behind nature sometimes. And so when you kick off an album with the longest track of the album as your opening track with the song Open Up Your Eyes, you begin to think it was just beauty written within that track, because you just have these beautiful soundscapes, beautiful instrumentalization. The vocals were beautiful by the singer, who's named Casey McPherson, I believe, who I guess used to be in a bunch of like solo project bands. I'm not sure, but he's just a newbie for this kind of a band. And also with that song, it just tells a great story about like looking out and going out and sightseeing nature and stuff. And then also you've got kind of more not so naturistic kind of songs as far as the good side, when you got songs like Mask Machine and Bombs Away that have some heaviness behind it, but it talks a little bit more about the dark sides of nature in a way. But then it gets back into like the beauty again with tracks like Fury of My Love and A Place in Your World. Those two tracks were really that first half of the album, tracks 1 through 5, were just masterpieces of tracks for me personally, because I really loved how it's conceptual prog with some heaviness to it, pretty much more like a Rush heaviness with a little bit of a Dream Theater and Deep Purple component to it, with Kansas as well. But the song Lost Without You, that was the only track of the album I didn't care for too much, but it was actually still a pretty decent track. It was a pretty good track, I will say. And that's what I liked about and also it was the shortest song on the album, so that kind of messed it up a little bit for me, and I wasn't 100% sold on it, but that's just a real minor complaint right there. The songs One Love Forever and Peaceful Harbor goes back to the beauty with the lyrical content and the themes behind it, so to speak. But then you end off with an 11 and a near 12-minute closing 3-part track, Cosmic Symphony. The first part of the song being a little over 3 minutes was Still Life of the World, and then near 3 minute and Searching for the Air, and then part 3, which is about 5.5 minutes, called Pound for Pound, which has just beautiful transitions that go on throughout the track, part by part. And that is one of those tracks that is definitely old school prog sounding and prog based, because pretty much in prog rock or prog metal for the most part, you would usually see at least one song on an album that has some kind that has like an epic behind it, the long form written epic, and songs in parts. Like, for example, let me get it over here, but like with the Mastodon Crack the Sky album, the song The Czar was separated into 4 parts within 11 minutes. So that is pretty much one of the things that makes a band prog for the most part, is if you have musicianship structures with like parts in a song. And that's what I like about prog music, is the fact that also there's some beauty behind it, but also some chaos, particularly in bands like Meshuggah and Dillinger Escape Plan and Mastodon and Opeth, but at the same time they'll have some form of beauty behind it, no doubt about it. But with this album, the production on this album was great. It sounds like it was well produced back in the 1970s, like for a Led Zeppelin album, according to what Mike Portnoy said about the production of this particular release. The songs were all just beautifully put together. I love the musicianship and the choice of members with Portnoy, as well as the Morse brothers. The production was great. To me, the band kind of has like a mixture of like Dream Theater because of Portnoy's influence, some Kansas influence from the Morse brothers and Deep Purple, same thing, but also some Rush influence as well as bands like Yes and bands along those lines. And not to mention, this is just great old school sounding prog rock with metallic components throughout the whole thing. You get songs that are metal sounding throughout the whole album, kind of like more of like a Rush vibe with a bit of a Dream Theater sound to it, but and just absolutely well done. This album was unbelievable. 9.25 out of 10. This album is definitely going to make it to the Album of the Year list. So, there you go. I really like this album. I really enjoyed it. Flying Colors is definitely by far Mike Portnoy's best project that he's been a part of outside of Dream Theater. Not counting Avenged Sevenfold, because he was only on there for one album to help fill in the spots for the Rev. Also, I haven't heard of Winery Dogs yet, but I've heard that's a great project as well. I might check that out. But Flying Colors is the band right now for prog music. But what did you guys think of this album? Let me know in the comments section down below, and tell me what you think. Boom, 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 boom. But anyways, rock on, people.